now the darling of the AFC West. They've beaten everybody in first place, right? Meanwhile, will everyone here finally give Jalen Hurts all the flowers that I have been? A new episode of Stock Up, Stock Down. Perhaps Jalen Hurts' stock is up, considering that he's the Super Bowl MVP and has won 17 consecutive games that he started and finished. But who knows?
Stay tuned.
But right now, good news. Chiefs are no longer winless. 1-3 in their last 4, but they are on a winning streak.
No, they're not on a winning streak.
Of one.
That's not a streak. It's definitely not a streak. One can't be a streak. They ended a losing streak.
Yeah. They're on a streak, though. They started a streak.
Okay. I hope they did, but...
Mahomes threw a few deep shots that connected or drew a DPI. Rushing attack appeared as the Chiefs ran for over 100 yards. That's good. Here's Patrick Mahomes.
They played winning football, and for us, we got to clean stuff up and get better and better. And but they're playing good. They're playing tight coverage. They're rushing. They're blitzing. They're doing all type of different stuff that you're supposed to do as a winning defense. And so for us, if they can continue to do that and we can clean stuff up, we'll win a lot of football games.
What was your number one takeaway from this game?
They're going to be fine. That was my number one takeaway is, honestly, now the worst case scenario is they're a wild card and they got to fight it out. Because it was this game plus what we were talking about before. Right now, the Chiefs are 1-2. There's only 7 teams in the conference with a better record than 1-2, and one of them's the Bengals, whose quarterback is done and they just got annihilated. One of them's the Steelers, who I don't think is very good. One of them is the Jaguars, who I'd like to tell you are very good, but I've watched every second of every game. They're not very good at the moment, and so had they lost, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So they stabilize and, in my opinion, showed progress in some concerning areas, not in all the concerning areas. The pass defense, which I was very concerned about after week 1, has steadied. Now, I'm not overreacting to shutting down Russ and the Giants, even though they just had that prolific game. But I no longer, after week 1, I was like, oh, my God, is this pass defense going to be really bad? I don't think that. The running attack was better, but I think the way to fix that is going to be to either get more explosives in the passing game that opens it up, or to trade for somebody. And to me, Thornton is not nothing. That they are having some level of success and willing to throw the ball downfield with Tyquan Thornton makes me feel like, oh, when Xavier comes back this week, when Rice is back in there, all those things are positive. And so they just needed to survive it. And that first half, it looked like they weren't going to. And then Mahomes flipped the game when he stole the ball away from the Giants. And the second half, I thought they played really well. So that's my biggest takeaway is they're going to be fine. They don't yet look like the Chiefs, but they don't need to look like the Chiefs in September.
I mean, that's a pretty big concession from you, actually, though. Like, that they might have to fight it out as a wild card team, because success for the Chiefs is a Super Bowl, and everything short of that is a disappointment. They, to me, looked like a team that the 2 wide receivers coming back is not going to solve all of the problems. Like, I'm with you that should help, and it's reason to be optimistic, and we will see if Xavier Worthy's performance and garbage time in the Super Bowl means he's going to be an awesome player, and Rashee Rice, I do think, is excellent. There's just something about it. Like, Patrick Mahomes needed to play defense. I don't understand. Like, why is he throwing the ball backwards? That's not Mahomes.
No, I think
I don't really get. He was the guy, number 15. That's the guy that I've always been like, even if his stats aren't elite, he's the best player in football. And I was just like, why is he throwing the ball backwards? They just don't look like themselves.
Right, but
they haven't for a while now.
So all I would say is this is not they have had 4 actually now stretches of football since they've been the Chiefs where they haven't looked like the Chiefs. And every year by the playoffs, they have figured it out and they look like the Chiefs. So my concern was, are they going to dig themselves such a big hole? You know what I mean? That they and had they lost this game, we have to start really talking about how big is the hole. But I agree with you, Danny, that just getting the receivers back won't fix everything. But I think some of the other things are looking better as the season goes on already.
If this is all if they didn't have a Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy coming back, I think they would be in trouble by their standards. I still think they're going to be the wild card. I think the Chargers are going to win the division, and the Chiefs are going to have to fight it out as the 5th seed probably. But I think they're fine. They'll be fine there. But they have, the defense, Danny, it has been so good the last few years that I think it's going to just keep improving. Like, I think their defense, it hasn't been great so far this season, but I think it's going to keep improving to the point where it's a solid defense. Offensively, Mahomes, when he gets his receivers back, I do think Thornton developing into a legitimate deep threat is big for them. And I think that can even open up a little bit of the running game where, like you said, Kareem Hunt is fine for what he does, but they just don't have any
I think they're going to have to trade for a
explosion from the run game. But look, I still got concerns about, like, now do I have to worry about Harrison Butker? Because kickers, sometimes it can get in your head if you miss some chip shots. So those are some of the things that I'd be concerned with, but I think they'll be fine.
My biggest takeaway was, and this is pushing it forward, is I can't wait to see the Ravens game.
Because that's going to be telling. Very telling.
Are the Chiefs a team that figured it out at halftime? And Collins was like, "Ooh, maybe they figured it out. Maybe Mahomes is back to being Mahomes." Or are they the Cowboys? Are like, you're a team that beat the Giants.
Well, go ahead.
Well, no, listen. I think if the Chiefs played the Ravens in January, I'd give the Chiefs the edge. I don't think they're ready for Baltimore. They're an underdog at Arrowhead. I expect them to lose that game handily.
So,
they have been
early Parkins picks forecast. Right now, you can get Baltimore -2.5. I don't think the Chiefs can keep up with Baltimore, and their defense has not proven to me to be some sort of difference-making unit that's going to slow down Lamar Jackson.
So my response to that would be, the Chiefs have proven, aside from the Super Bowl, over the last 5 years, that they literally can keep up with everyone, even when that means grinding the game to a halt. Like they have in their losses this year, they've kept up with everybody. And the Super Bowl, in my opinion, got away from them because of offensive mistakes, not defensive mistakes. And this another reason, again, I'm not conceding the division, to be clear. What I'm saying is I think now, obviously they're 1-2. It's early to say anything's locked in, but I feel like it's hard to find 7 AFC playoff teams. So I feel like now the short-term goal of the season is to see if you can run down the Chargers. See if the Chargers give a game up they shouldn't, and then you get them again later. But the other part that does make me feel good about the Chiefs, and I made this point after week 1 as well, is watching the NFL. Because teams that we feel like are really good in contenders every week lose a game that the Chiefs simply never lose. The Chiefs never lose the game the Rams just lost, ever. The Chiefs never lose the game the Packers just lost, ever. The Chiefs never lose the game the Ravens just lost, ever. And as mediocre as the offense has been and the numbers have been the last 2 years, yes, big lead that they've blown or self-inflicted, you know what I mean? Just get on the bus with a win. So that has never stopped. So, like, as long as that maintains while the other things get better, I just think there's a margin for error.
Just quickly before we move on to Caleb, when we talk about Rashee Rice is not there, Xavier Worthy's not there, are we positive he's there? He's got a uniform on. He had 4 catches for 26 yards, and he's 36. Is it fair to be like, oh, Travis Kelce's not really there?
No,
he's just not nearly as good.
He's there, but it's like, that's the other, and they have Kelce, like, not really. No.
I actually think Kelce's one of the biggest benefactors of Rice and Worthy coming back. Because then he's not the primary attention seeker, especially down in the red zone.
KW, what do they call me?
Mr. Consistency, of course.
What did I tell you about Travis Kelce 1 year ago?
That he has a handful of
I said that he has 6 great games left in him, and I don't know how he's going to choose to fire that gun.
He banked that.
So he's got 6 left.
That was 2 great games ago. I think we've got 4 or 5 at most great Kelce games left in his career, and I think when we see him, we see him. And he is the same age as Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski retired for the first time 6 years ago.
Yeah, it's wild.
Like, it's just what he's doing shouldn't be.
It's
happening.
crazy.
Yeah.
Classic one from Danny Parkins. Caleb hosted his old head coach in Chicago, toasted Eberflus's defense. to the tune of 4 touchdowns and 143 passer rating. Here's Caleb postgame.
All the stuff that's shown up with all the hard work that we've been able to put in as an offense, and all the hard work that I've been putting in myself with the coaches after hours or whatever the case may be. It's nice to show up, and I think the guys are believing more within the coaches, believing more within themselves, and believing more within us. And I say that as the guys, but also me included.
Okay, Danny, you've been riding with Caleb. Do you feel vindicated?
Of course. I've been waiting all day for these next 8 minutes. I'm so happy to be here. Do you guys want to play a game? Like, what was your favorite Caleb Williams touchdown? We got 4 to pick from. Like, it was glorious. Brew, you said that there was nothing he could do because the Cowboys defense, come on.
No, he was great.
He was great.
He was great, but am I ready to say he's arrived?
No.
That's all I was
stack
saying.
him.
Like I was saying, he had a great statement game, if you will. But there also is the thought of, was that just the Cowboys? Because we saw the difference between Russell Wilson versus the Cowboys and Russell Wilson versus the Chiefs. And it was stark. So I'm just saying, Caleb was fantastic. I don't want to take anything away from him. But
and that is
totally
totally fair.
And lastly, last year he had some, not quite this good, but close.
Oh, no, he was very good against the Jaguars, the one game against Vikings.
I think the key now is can he be, he's not going to do that every game, but can he consistently play well, not make the mistakes, when the wild plays aren't there, be on time, all of that stuff.
Yeah, and I think that is all fair. He's got to stack good games. Yep. But for me today, like they tell players, like, enjoy it, 24-hour rule, and then you flush it and you move on to the next one. Like, that game
was great.
Is, I'm 38 years old. I'll turn 39 next month. That is literally one of the best games I've ever seen a Bears quarterback have. And so out of these qualifiers, like I've seen that game, it's been 3 times in my entire life.
I'm afraid about this graphic.
It's a hilarious graphic.
I wouldn't, Danny, I looked at your paper.
I'm doing it.
I would have rejected this graphic.
I'm doing it.
Just say it's one of the 3 best, guys. You're not going to want to.
Rex Grossman.
That doesn't make you feel better.
Come on down,
Rex
baby.
Grossman. That's where I would have been like, that's not good. That's not
Danny?
good. That's horrifying.
I'm doing it.
That's horrifying.
That's a no.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a reason, though.
Yeah.
Because I have seen it before, but it's like once every 20 years. It's like locusts.
But look at what those guys became.
Of course.
With all due respect.
Yeah, of course. But this was his 20th career game. And if you watched it, because we can move to the next graphic, this is the thing we haven't seen yet from Caleb. When he threw the ball deep, man, because his arm is unbelievable.
Yes.
That's great.
It is a Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Mahomes,
Russell Wilson,
prime Aaron Rodgers.
We just saw Russell Wilson.
No, hold on.
No,
that's not what he's saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
He's saying he has the arm strength of those guys.
Well, I know, but against the Cowboys, Russell Wilson was airing it out to Malik Neighbors too.
There was a air of, I would say, flukiness to some of the results on those moon balls that Russell Wilson throws. He is throwing the ball up in the air on a hope and a prayer. Caleb Williams took that pitch on the flea flicker from DeAndre Swift and flat-footed put it 62 yards in the air on a
Nobody's
on a
ever questioned his arm talent. And the thing is, all 4 of his touchdown passes, the guys were wide open, including the flea flicker. Yeah, no, Ben did a great job calling plays, but also the is it Matt Eberflus effect? I mean, that defense, it happens week in and week out. They're losing receivers left and right.
The funniest thing on Twitter over the weekend was everyone making some variation of the same joke that Matt Eberflus finally developed Caleb Williams. Because he had to play a Matt Eberflus.